I thought I knew everything about my boyfriend's family. I thought I was safe, that nothing could ever shatter the trust I'd built with them. But everything changed the day his father walked in on me in the shower. What happened next? I still can't believe it. My name is Ava, and I was 23 when everything in my life turned upside down. I had been dating Alex for over a year, and I thought I knew his family better than my own. Alex was everything I had ever wanted in a partner, kind, thoughtful, and always there for me. His family had welcomed me with open arms from the very first day. His mom, Diane, treated me like I was one of her own daughters. We would spend hours chatting about anything and everything. And then there was Mr. Bennett, Alex's dad. He was the kind of man who would open doors for you, ask how your day was, and always made you feel comfortable around him. He was charming, always with a smile, and never seemed to have a bad bone in his body. I trusted them both completely. To me, they were family. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon, the kind where everything feels calm and predictable. Alex had left to run errands, and Diane was downstairs, humming softly as she prepped lunch in the kitchen. The house felt so warm, so familiar, that I didn't think twice about being there alone with his family. I decided to take a quick shower before Alex got back. I grabbed my towel and headed to the guest bathroom upstairs, the one I always used when I stayed over. The bathroom was small but cozy, with pale blue tiles and a frosted glass window that let in soft, natural light. As I shut the door behind me, I noticed the lock didn't click properly. I turned the knob a few times, jiggling it to see if it would catch. It didn't. For a moment, I hesitated. Should I go back downstairs and let Diane know? But then I brushed the thought away. It's fine, I told myself. It's just a shower. No one's going to come in. I turned on the water, and the room quickly filled with steam. The warmth was comforting, and I let out a sigh of relief as the hot water cascaded over me. The gentle patter of the water hitting the tiles was the only sound I could hear, muffling the world outside. I closed my eyes, letting myself relax completely. For a moment, it felt like nothing else existed. Then, I heard it. A faint creak, so soft it could have been the house settling. My eyes snapped open, and I stood perfectly still, listening. The sound came again, a low, deliberate groan of wood shifting under weight. My heart started to race. It sounded like the bathroom door moving, but I tried to brush it off. It's probably just the wind, I told myself. But deep down, I felt a flicker of unease. Alex? I called out, my voice shaky, barely louder than the sound of the running water. No response. The silence that followed was deafening. My pulse quickened as I turned off the water, the sudden quiet making every sound outside the bathroom seem louder. I reached for my towel, wrapping it tightly around me as I stepped toward the door. And then I saw him. Standing in the doorway, partially obscured by the steam, was Mr. Bennett. His hand rested on the doorframe, and his eyes were fixed on me in a way that made my stomach drop. For a second, I couldn't process what I was seeing. My mind struggled to connect the image of the polite, friendly man I'd known for over a year with the way he was looking at me now. My breath caught in my throat, and my body froze. Mr. Bennett, I managed to whisper, my voice trembling. What are you doing here? I clutched the towel tighter, my knuckles white from the grip. He didn't say anything at first, just took a slow step forward. My heart was pounding so loudly, I could hear it in my ears. I wanted to move, to scream, but my legs felt like they were glued to the floor. My body felt like it was frozen in time, but my mind was screaming at me to do something. Anything. Mr. Bennett took another step forward, and I could feel the air in the room grow heavier. The steam from the shower clung to my skin, mixing with the cold fear that prickled down my spine. Please, leave. I said again, louder this time, my voice cracking under the weight of panic. But he didn't leave. He didn't even flinch. Instead, he shut the bathroom door behind him with a quiet, deliberate click. That sound, it felt like the world around me stopped. My heart was racing so fast it felt like it might burst. My grip on the towel tightened, my knuckles turning white as I pressed myself harder against the cold, damp tiles. "What are you doing?" I demanded, my voice trembling. I wanted to sound strong, but I knew I sounded scared. And I was terrified. He didn't answer. His eyes stayed locked on me, and I could feel them moving over me in a way that made my stomach churn. He took another step closer, his movements slow, deliberate, as if he was savoring the moment. The steam swirled around him, making the small bathroom feel even more suffocating. My breathing quickened, each breath shallow and ragged. I couldn't believe this was happening. This was Mr. Bennet, the man I trusted, the man I thought was a second father to me. This couldn't be real. I reached out blindly, grabbing the nearest thing I could find, a bottle of shampoo sitting on the edge of the tub. With all the strength I could muster, I hurled it at him. The bottle hit his shoulder with a dull thud, but it didn't stop him. He barely even reacted. Instead, he took another step forward, closing the gap between us. My mind was racing. I had to get out. I had to do something. "Stay away from me!" I screamed, my voice echoing off the tiled walls. My hand darted to the shower rod, yanking it down in a desperate attempt to create some kind of barrier. The metal rod clattered to the floor, but it didn't deter him. I tried to move around him, but the bathroom was too small, and he was too close. I could feel the heat of his presence, the weight of his stare. Every instinct in my body was telling me to run, but there was nowhere to go. In a last-ditch effort, I lunged toward the door, pushing past him with every ounce of strength I had. My bare feet slipped on the wet floor, and for a terrifying moment, I thought I was going to fall. His hand brushed against my arm, and I felt a jolt of panic shoot through me. But the slippery tiles worked in my favor, and I managed to twist out of his reach. I bolted out of the bathroom, the towel barely clinging to me as I ran down the hallway. My wet feet slapped against the hardwood floor, each step echoing loudly in the quiet house. My chest was heaving, my heart pounding so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I didn't stop until I reached Alex's room. I threw myself inside, slamming the door shut behind me and locking it with trembling hands. The cold metal of the lock felt like a lifeline, but it did little to calm the storm raging inside me. I pressed my back against the door, sliding down to the floor as tears streamed down my face. My whole body was shaking, and I could barely catch my breath. I felt violated, terrified, and completely alone. My mind was racing with questions I didn't want to answer. What had just happened? Why had he done this? And most importantly, what was I supposed to do now? I buried my face in my hands, trying to make sense of the nightmare that had just unfolded. I stayed locked in Alex's room for what felt like hours, my body trembling uncontrollably. My mind was racing, replaying what had just happened over and over. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mr. Bennet standing there in the steam-filled bathroom, his eyes fixed on me. I felt sick to my stomach, my heart heavy with fear and confusion. How could someone I trusted, someone I saw as a father figure, do something like this? When I finally heard Alex's voice downstairs, I felt a wave of relief and dread at the same time. I wanted to run to him, to feel safe in his arms, but I also didn't know how to explain what had just happened. My hands were still shaking as I unlocked the door and stepped into the hallway. I could hear his footsteps coming up the stairs, his voice calling out, "Ava? Are you up here?" When he saw me, his face immediately shifted to concern. "What's wrong?" he asked, rushing toward me. I opened my mouth to speak, but the words wouldn't come out. Instead, tears started streaming down my face. I broke down, sobbing into his chest as he held me tightly. It took a few minutes before I could even begin to tell him what had happened. "It was your dad," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "He came into the bathroom while I was in the shower." I could feel Alex stiffen, his arms tightening around me. For a moment, he didn't say anything, and I could sense the storm of emotions brewing inside him. Finally, he pulled back, looking me in the eyes. "Are you serious?" he asked, his voice low and tense. I nodded, tears still streaming down my face. Alex's reaction wasn't what I expected. Instead of anger, there was a look of guilt and something else I couldn't quite place. "I'm so sorry," he said, his voice cracking. I should have told you." Those words hit me like a punch to the gut. "Told me what?" I asked, my voice rising with a mix of confusion and anger. He hesitated, running a hand through his hair as he looked away. "My mom warned me about him," he admitted quietly. "She said he's done things before. But I didn't think he'd do something like this to you." Hearing that shattered me. My legs felt weak, and I had to sit down on the edge of the bed to steady myself. "You knew?" I asked, my voice trembling. "You knew he was capable of this, and you still let me stay here?" Alex looked at me, his face filled with regret. I didn't think it would happen," he said, his voice trailing off. But his words did nothing to comfort me. If anything, they made the betrayal cut even deeper. How could he have known and not said anything? How could he have put me in a situation where this could happen? I felt a mix of emotions I couldn't even begin to untangle: anger, betrayal, sadness, and a deep sense of violation. I didn't just feel let down by Mr. Bennett. I felt let down by Alex, by his entire family. The people I thought I could trust the most had somehow all failed me. And as I sat there, staring at the man I loved, I couldn't help but wonder if I could ever look at him the same way again. That day, I packed my things and left Alex's house. I couldn't stay, not after what happened, and not after what he told me. I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to do, but I knew one thing: I had to get out of there. The betrayal from someone I loved and trusted, combined with the trauma of what his father did, was too much to bear. Alex tried to call me, to apologize, to explain, but I couldn't bring myself to answer. I needed space to think, to process everything. I spent the first few days in a blur, replaying the events over and over in my mind, questioning how I could have missed the signs. How could I have trusted a family that was hiding something so dark? Eventually, I sought help. I started therapy to deal with the fear, the anger, and the overwhelming sense of betrayal. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Each session helped me unpack the trauma and begin to rebuild my sense of self. I learned that what happened wasn't my fault, even though I carried that guilt for so long. And most importantly, I learned to trust my instincts again. As for Alex, we tried to talk a few times, but the damage was done. The trust between us was broken, and no matter how much we tried, we couldn't repair it. I eventually told him I couldn't continue our relationship. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, but it was the right one for me. I had to put myself first. Looking back now, I see that experience as a turning point in my life. It taught me to never ignore my gut feelings, to pay attention to the small signs that something might be wrong. And it taught me the importance of protecting my own peace, no matter how hard it might be. To this day, I double-check every lock before stepping into a bathroom. It's a small habit, but it gives me a sense of control, a reminder that I'm stronger now than I was then. The scars from that day remain, but so does my strength. I've moved on, but I'll never forget what happened. And if sharing my story can help even one person avoid a similar situation, then maybe some good can come from it after all. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? Have you ever been in a situation where someone you trusted completely let you down? I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Your experiences might help someone else feel less alone. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Your support means the world and helps keep these conversations going. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.